In our exploration of how to overcome fear with love from a spiritual perspective, we dive into the profound understanding that fear and love are two fundamental energies that govern our experiences and behaviors. Fear, often perceived as a negative force, can be incredibly debilitating, affecting our mental, emotional, and spiritual well-being. Love, on the other hand, is the highest frequency at which we can operate, capable of transforming our lives and the world around us. In this first segment, we will explore the nature of fear and its origins. Fear is a primal emotion, deeply embedded in our psyche, serving initially as a survival mechanism to protect us from physical danger. However, in our modern context, these fears have evolved into less tangible, yet equally impactful emotional and psychological barriers. These fears might manifest as anxiety about the future, fear of rejection, fear of failure, or even fear of our own potential. Recognizing these fears is the first step towards overcoming them. To understand fear better, we must look at its impact on our lives. When we operate from a place of fear, our world shrinks. We avoid taking risks, we resist change, and we close off parts of ourselves that are vulnerable. Fear can paralyze us, leaving us feeling stuck and powerless. Now, consider for a moment, how has fear manifested in your life? How has it held you back from pursuing your deepest desires and highest aspirations? The antidote to fear, as we will see, is not mere bravery or willpower, but love. Love is not just a feeling, but a state of being, a powerful force that encompasses acceptance, understanding, and compassion. When we begin to shift our perspective from fear to love, we start to see our fears not as obstacles but as opportunities for growth and transformation. One practical way to start this shift is through mindfulness practices. By becoming more aware of our thoughts and feelings, we can observe our fears without attachment. Mindfulness allows us to sit with our fears, understand their origins, and gently begin to question their validity. We can ask ourselves, is this fear based on truth, or is it a distorted product of past experiences and societal conditioning? This questioning is crucial because it helps us break down the illusions that fear creates, allowing space for love to enter. As we conclude this first part of our discussion, consider the role of mindfulness in your life. Have you used mindfulness to observe your fears? What have you discovered when you approach your fears with curiosity rather than judgment? Transcending fear through the power of compassionate love. Having established an understanding of fear and initiated our journey with mindfulness, we now focus on the transformative power of compassionate love. Compassionate love is not merely an emotion, it is an active force of empathy, kindness, and deep understanding that we direct towards ourselves and others. This powerful form of love can serve as a critical tool in overcoming the roots of fear. To harness compassionate love, we begin by turning it inward, cultivating self-compassion. Many of us are our own harshest critics, and this internal dialogue can be permeated with fear. Fear of not being good enough, fear of failure, or fear of judgment can dominate our thoughts. Self-compassion involves recognizing that we are human, fallible, and capable of mistakes, yet deserving of love regardless of our flaws or failures. It means treating ourselves with the same kindness and understanding that we would offer a dear friend. Embracing self-compassion allows us to soften the voice of fear. When we understand and accept our limitations and imperfections, we remove the power that fear holds over us. This does not happen overnight. It is a gradual process. It involves daily practices such as positive affirmations, journaling our thoughts and feelings, and consciously redirecting critical thoughts to more compassionate ones. Imagine how your daily life might change if, each time you faced a fear, you responded not with self-criticism but with encouragement and understanding. Expanding our practice of compassionate love outward, it becomes a bridge to understanding others. Fear often separates us from others, creating barriers of misunderstanding and prejudice. When we approach relationships with compassionate love, we start to see the fears and vulnerabilities in others not as threats but as common ground, shared aspects of the human experience. This realization can profoundly change how we interact with the world. Compassionate love in action means actively listening to others, offering support without judgment, and practicing empathy. It involves seeing beyond the surface behaviors that might be influenced by fear and recognizing the inherent worth and struggles of each individual. Consider the last time someone reacted to you in anger or judgment. How might your response change if you viewed their actions through the lens of compassionate love, considering what fears might be driving their behavior? Further, compassionate love has the power to heal and unite communities. It encourages us to look beyond our individual concerns to the broader issues affecting our society. Many societal fears are driven by a lack of understanding and empathy. By promoting dialogue and open-heartedness, we can address these fears more effectively. Initiatives such as community outreach, support groups, and inclusive events are practical manifestations of compassionate love in a community setting. But how do we maintain this state of compassionate love, especially in challenging times when fear seems overwhelming? It requires a commitment to ongoing personal and spiritual growth. This growth is supported by regular self-reflection, meditation, and engagement in communities that foster these values. Each step taken in love strengthens our resilience against fear. As we wrap up this segment of our discussion, reflect on how integrating compassionate love into your life could change your relationship with fear. How might treating yourself and others with more understanding and kindness transform the fears that you face? Embracing spiritual practices to cultivate love and dissolve fear. Having explored the profound impact of compassionate love on our internal and external worlds, we now turn our attention to specific spiritual practices that can further enhance our ability to transcend fear through love. These practices not only deepen our connection with ourselves, but also expand our capacity to radiate love outward, influencing our environments and relationships positively. Meditation is one of the most powerful tools in our spiritual arsenal against fear. It allows us to create a space of silence in which we can observe our thoughts and emotions without attachment. Regular meditation practice helps us develop a state of calm and centeredness that stands strong even in the face of fear. By sitting in quiet contemplation, we allow love to fill the void created by the dissolution of fear, integrating this love into our very being. Meditation can be tailored to focus specifically on love, perhaps through heart-centered practices that involve visualizing love emanating from the heart and spreading to every part of the body, then beyond to others. Another transformative practice is the cultivation of gratitude. Gratitude shifts our focus from lack and fear to abundance and appreciation. This shift is not just psychological but spiritual, as it aligns us with the generous nature of the universe. Keeping a gratitude journal, where you daily list things you are grateful for, can significantly alter your perspective, helping you see the world and your life through a lens of appreciation rather than scarcity. How often do you consciously acknowledge the things you're grateful for? Could this simple practice be a key to unlocking a more profound love in your life? Prayer, regardless of one's religious affiliations, can also be a potent practice for overcoming fear with love. In prayer, we express our hopes, fears, and desires, releasing them to a higher power. This act of surrender can be incredibly freeing, as it allows us to let go of the fears we cannot control and strengthen our trust in the journey of life. Whether it's a prayer for strength, courage, peace, or love, each invocation is a step towards a more profound spiritual connection and a testament to our desire to transcend fear. Service to others is another spiritual practice that significantly impacts our ability to operate from a place of love. When we serve, we step outside of our own needs and fears and focus on the well-being of others. This act of selflessness is a powerful expression of love, one that returns to us multiplied. Service can take many forms, from volunteering at a local charity to simply being there for a friend in need. Each act of kindness and service strengthens our heart's capacity to love and diminishes the room available for fear. As we reflect on these practices, it's important to recognize that the journey from fear to love is incremental and requires patience and persistence. Each step forward is a victory over fear, a reclaiming of our spiritual power. As we prepare to conclude this segment, I invite you to reflect on your current spiritual practices. Are they helping you move from fear to love? What new practices might you integrate into your daily life to deepen this transition? The everlasting embrace, sustaining love in a world governed by fear. As we navigate towards the culmination of our journey from fear to love, the challenge now lies in embedding these principles deeply into our everyday lives. This final phase is not just about occasional practice, but about living in a state of love consistently and intentionally, transforming it from a transient emotion into a permanent stance towards life. To sustain this state of love, we must first commit to ongoing self-awareness. This involves continuously checking in with our emotions and recognizing when fear begins to creep back into our thoughts and actions. Awareness is the light that dispels the shadows of fear. Without it, we can easily revert to old patterns. Techniques such as journaling, reflective meditation, and mindful breathing can help maintain this awareness. They serve as tools to bring us back to the present moment, where love has the power to thrive. Next, it's essential to cultivate an environment that supports this state of love. This includes the physical environments we inhabit, the company we keep, and the media we consume. Surrounding ourselves with positive influences that reinforce our spiritual values can dramatically enhance our ability to live from a place of love. This might mean creating a peaceful home space, engaging with communities that support your spiritual journey, or choosing media that uplifts and inspires rather than fuels fear and negativity. Moreover, sustaining love requires us to be proactive in our personal growth. This can involve seeking new knowledge, engaging in spiritual or educational workshops, and continuing to explore practices that connect us to our inner selves and the divine. Growth is an ongoing process, and each step forward expands our capacity to love and diminishes our susceptibility to fear. Another critical aspect of sustaining love is resilience. Challenges and setbacks are inevitable parts of life. However, viewing these challenges through the lens of love and learning can transform potential backslides into opportunities for growth. Resilience is built through practices like gratitude, which can reframe difficulties as pathways to deeper understanding and strength. Additionally, having a supportive community or spiritual mentor can provide guidance and encouragement when maintaining love becomes challenging. Finally, it is vital to extend this love outward in a continuous cycle of giving and receiving. Love is not a finite resource but a self-amplifying one. The more we give, the more we have. Acts of kindness, compassion, and service not only benefit others but reinforce our own state of love. This outward expression confirms our internal commitment and completes the cycle of love that rebuffs fear at every turn. As we conclude this exploration, reflect on how the journey from fear to love has reshaped your perspective. What changes have you noticed in your life? How has your relationship with yourself and others transformed? The path from fear to love is both deeply personal and universally impactful, creating ripples that extend far beyond our immediate perception. Thank you for embarking on this profound journey with me. I hope that the insights and practices we've shared will continue to guide you as you cultivate a life dominated by love rather than fear. Remember, each moment of love is a step towards a more peaceful and compassionate world. How will you choose to live out this love daily? Let us carry this heart-centered approach forward, nurturing a legacy of love that endures.